Issue 36, Love or Selfishness?
Years ago, when my husband and I were first married, we discussed what would happen if one of us died. We were both in our 30s at the time, so I didn't consider this a frivolous chat. We both promised never to remarry if one of us should pass away. I felt greatly relieved because I loved him so much I couldn't bear the thought of another woman taking my place. We are now pushing 50, and I am seriously ill. Last night as we were sitting by the fireplace, my husband brought up our old promise and assured me that it still stands. My question is this: am I being unrealistic and selfish to find comfort in this promise? I don't think it would be too hard on him because he's a workaholic anyhow and he didn't marry me until he was in his mid-30s. We have no children and are devoted to each other. I can honestly say that if he died tomorrow, I could easily live a purposeful life without ever having another man. Are there other couples who have made this promise and been able to keep it? Are there couples who made this promise and later regretted it? I am torn between the guilt I feel that I may be depriving him of years of future happiness and yet wanting so much to know that I will have been his only true love.
Comprehension. 1. What did this couple discuss when they got married? 2. Why didn't she think the discussion was frivolous? 3. What did they promise? 4. Was she relieved when her husband said the promise still stands? If so, why? If not, why not? 5. How old are they now? 6. Is she in good health? He? 7. Why does she think it would not be hard for him to keep his promise? 8. Why does she feel guilty?
Let's talk. 1. Would you demand that your spouse not remarry when you died? 2. Could you promise your spouse not to remarry? 3. Even if people promise not to remarry after their spouse dies, many can't keep their word. Why not? 4. Is enforcing the promise an act of love or one of selfishness? 5. Which do you think is more important, one's promise or starting a new, happy life? 6. Would you want your sweetheart to remarry after you died?
Opinion samples. 1. It seems to me that couples who truly love one another would want their mates to remarry. To exact a promise not to is the ultimate act of selfishness. It is impossible to predict how one will feel several years down the road. People's ideas change. It would be extremely short-sighted to tie up a mate with such a promise, and I would definitely advise against it. Question: if you were asked this question, would you be honest with your mate or lie?
2. This kind of promise is easier made than honored. Even though people think they can keep the promise, as time goes by, their determination can erode as feelings towards other people become stronger. Nobody can control another person's feelings, so it is very foolish to force such a promise. Question: do you think nobody can keep this kind of promise? Issue 36, Love or Selfishness.
I don't know what to do.
Can I help?
I don't know. Probably not. This is something I have to figure out on my own, I guess.
Well, why don't you tell me about it?
I think I'm in love.
Great.
No, it's not.
Why not?
You just don't understand. I promised my wife I wouldn't marry anyone else.
Of course not. That's against the law. But I'm confused. You're married?
Not anymore. Yes, in a sense.
Wait, please make up your mind. Are you married or not?
I was, but my wife died less than a year after our wedding.
That's terrible.
I know. I can't get over her.
But that means you're not really married anymore. You're free to get married again, you know. So that's good, right?
Not so good, no.
Why not?
Because I promised my wife I'd never get married again. I'd feel like a liar if I got married now. But on the other hand, I don't want to give up my new love either. That's why I don't know what to do.
How about if you just live together without getting married? That way you could have your cake and eat it too. You could be happy without breaking your promise.
No, I couldn't do that. That would be a sin. It has to be marriage or abstinence. Those are the only two choices.
Okay, then the answer is easy. Marry her.
But what about my promise?
Circumstances change. You made the promise with the best of intentions, but that was a long time ago. She isn't around anymore, through no fault of your own. But if she isn't alive, she can't blame you for breaking your word. And surely she'd want you to be happy, wouldn't she? You owe it to yourself. You still have a long life ahead. Make the most of it.
You make it sound so easy, but I still don't know.
Questions. 1. What is the woman's first suggestion for solving the problem? 2. Why won't it work? 3. What is the woman's final suggestion? Will the man take her advice?